Real Estate Investing Profits presents Profit Masters with your host, world-renowned real estate coach and investor, Corey Boatwright. Now, strap in and get ready to learn elite wealth-building investment strategies taught by 6- and 7-figure house flipping masters as they reveal their best real estate investing profit secrets to you right now.
Welcome back. This is Corey Boatwright. I am your host of Real Estate Investing Profit Masters podcast series and also the CEO of Real Estate Investing Profits.com. I always love that little jingle. What is going on? I hope you're having a productive and fun day today. I am bringing you someone that is going to really make you question how you're running your business. If you're a real estate agent, specifically if you have a brokerage, and or if you're just a real estate investor. Peter Vekselman is somebody I've worked with in the past on different side projects. He's also someone that I met going through the Collective Genius Mastermind, which in the show notes, you can always check that out. Great real estate mastermind, one of the best in the country. My best friend in the world, Jason Medley, runs that. And Peter Vekselman is just knocking it out of the park. Let me tell you how much he's crushing. On this interview, he actually said there are some days, not weeks, not months, that he gets 1,000 leads. And those are phone calls a day. Okay. Can you handle 200 a day? What about 400? Maybe 600, 800, 1,000? Can you handle 1,000 calls in one day? You're going to learn so much from this interview because he's pioneering really a new strategy that is a different approach. It's a different perspective, and it's a different strategy on how he's dealing with sellers using what he calls a consultative approach. And you're going to learn it a lot. So here we go. Make sure that you download by putting the number in 38470, the word profit, put in the word profit 38470. And download your Down Dirty Ultimate Real Estate Investing Guide. You better download it. And we appreciate it so much, your support for doing that. So also, if you are interested in taking your real estate game to the next level, I do offer some coaching. We do have incredible clients, including lawyers and doctors and dentists, believe it or not, venture capitalists, real estate investors that just started yesterday to ones that are doing 50 to 100 deals a year. And it's really incredible to be able to work and get a different perspective on your business. I do it myself. I have a great mentor, helps me with different aspects of my life and in my business. And I highly suggest you do it as well. So if you're interested in doing that, make sure you get in touch with me. You can just go right there at the very top of the page on Real Estate Investing Profits. Click the word coaching, and we can basically extend the conversation from there. All right, here we go. Mr. Peter Vekselman, make sure you take good notes on this one. Peter, are you there, my friend?
I'm here, right here.
Hey, in the dirty South, in the ATL.
Well, listen, we call it a lot of things, but not dirty.
Well, that's all right. I can get away with it. I'm in Oklahoma, so
yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so you're in Atlanta, rocking it out there. I'm excited because I've been hearing some things that you're doing. It's a new strategy that I know folks are going to be really excited about, and it's working with real estate agents and also working as with your investment side of the company and a strategy there. So I'm excited about that. But why don't we take a few minutes here, talk about what your real estate expertise is and how you got involved in real estate investing?
Okay. I don't know if I necessarily have an expertise. I think my biggest strength in real estate has been really just developing models behind what I do. You just mentioned before we got on the air, you're closing a couple deals today and got a couple things you got to handle. What I pride myself on, I know how many deals I'm closing 2 times during the day, at 12 o'clock and at 5 o'clock. My office calls me at 12 o'clock, tells me what we did in the morning, and call me at 5 and tell me what we did in the afternoon. So that's probably been my biggest claim to fame. big systems, big procedures, continuity components. I've done thousands of deals, here in the Georgia market, all over the United States, very leveraged in terms of the people side of it. Have everything behind me running, and, just pride myself the most on that side. Because, ultimately that's the lifestyle piece of it.
Right.
That's ultimately the lifestyle piece of it. So that's what I get so proud about.
Oh, you're also really, one of the top wholesalers in the country. At one point, I think you were knocking out, like, I don't know how many deals it was, but it seemed like it was like one a day or something. It was really, you were knocking out quite a few deals a month. Are you still on that trajectory?
Yep. Yeah, we are. We actually increased our numbers. I was sharing with you a little bit about the new things we're doing because of tweaking the models and rearranging some things. We're actually now bigger now than when you and I talked about what I was doing before.
It's insane. Yeah, I know you and I worked together on a little side coaching thing for a bit. And then you and Joe worked together on some things that has worked out well, because I know that Podio's been a big play with on keeping track of things and pipe drive and some other things.
Yep.
And also being a part of Collective Genius, the mastermind, that was also a big part of seeing Joe come in there and work some of those deals with Podio too. Yeah. But I think you're using pipe drive now, aren't you?
Yeah, we use pipe drive. Yeah. But speaking of CG, I'm actually talking to Jason on Monday, looking to get back into that.
I love that, man. That'd be great. Yeah, continues to grow, and he's one of my very best friends in the world. I've been there for over 5 years since it started. And it's and in fact, we get a lot of folks on the show here just because of the Collective Genius. A lot of people come on. It's really easy to interview them. Why don't we talk about what's a big influence for you in real estate investing?
Who or what?
Well, a what or who, doesn't matter. What was something? Did you have somebody that you were following, like a Carlton Sheets back in the day, or Robert Kiyosaki, or did you have anybody that's maybe a mentor in your life? What was the influence that got you really stirred up for real estate investing?
Probably the biggest mistake I ever made, both financially, infrastructurally, and time-wise, is I really never did. And so that's my claim to fame, is that I literally, where I am now 15 years after I got started is a direct result, not of someone who it should be as a result of, or something which it should be as a result of. It's a result of spending a ton of money, wasting a lot of money, making a ton of mistakes, going down the dead end, trying to quit this business 100 times over and over, and just not really having the guts to do it all the way.
Right.
And then, kind of reinventing until, some time back, we figured this model out and been rocking ever since. But this is like a homemade little thing we got here.
Well, typically I also ask about if you went through a mistake in real estate investing, but you clearly just kind of articulated the fact that you would have been a little bit further ahead if you would have got maybe somebody that you're working with or whatever. But at the end of the day, you just went through the school of hard knocks. I think a lot of entrepreneurs learn that way too. Did you have a particular deal that you went through that was rough on you, and what did you learn going through that particular deal?
Well, ultimately, here's one thing that we live and die with here in our company today, that everything we do is internal based. Our inspections are internal based. We negotiate internally. We market internally. We do our deals. We close internally, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And that came as a result. And I still remember, this is years ago, with a guy named Barton. Barton and I are still friends. And if he ever listens to this, he'll be like, man, I was such a positive influence on you. And because before, many years ago, I used to count on a lot of external things. And I remember one time I was walking with Barton, showing him a warehouse. And somewhere along the line, in the middle of that warehouse, he says, yeah, you got to go ahead and just get this thing locked up. And as I look back at it, I realized he was just saying that in passing, just go get it locked up. Now, I took it serious. I'm like, man, Barton's going to buy this thing from me. And this is a huge thing. And so that was a little external thing that somebody told me. Didn't do my own internal due diligence. Didn't have my internal thing. Got it locked up. I remember calling him a week later, and he's like, what warehouse? And so that little deal, they actually went after me, and I lost about 15 grand of earnest money. So that was like one big thing that I've learned that I learned, one big event, that, man, you better have a control of everything you do internally, and you better learn how to make decisions in this business.
I gotcha. So basically from that experience, because you lost that earnest money, it taught you a big lesson of you've got to make sure that you have controls of certain things on the dial of where you can turn
Absolutely.
them. Yeah, and at that point, you're kind of just making it up as you went, maybe.
No, absolutely. I mean, you could shoot off the hip in a lot of things in life.
Right. I think most entrepreneurs do.
Yeah, it's just some things are a lot bit easier. You could, if you get in the basket weaving, you could do that off the hip. You could, play guitar off the hip.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, real estate, you could sneeze the wrong way in this business and lose 5 or 10 grand. So this is not a business where you want to just kind of off the cuff, shoot from the hip, listen to a webinar and go out there and, be a Donald Trump. It's a lot of moving pieces.
Now, when you say lose the money, first off, I want to make sure that we're clear on that. Most of this type of business, especially you being in the wholesale business, we didn't have to put up any of our own money to tie up the deal, right? So when you're saying lose money, often that means just losing the profit potential of the money, not you actually putting up that money unless you're doing
Sure. Well, yes and no. Listen, I could pick up my thing and I could walk in my office. I got 20 employees behind me. And so, all of them, prevent from what you said, not losing potential profit.
Right.
But let me tell you something else. I mean, I own tons of real estate. I've had up to 400 rentals. I buy, fix, and sell. So, I always extract and cherry pick the best wholesale deals to come in and do something with them. So on the wholesaling side, you're right. You can lose potential profit. You can lose your reputation. You could lose some key contacts.
Right.
But there's a lot of moving pieces to the other pieces I do. But, the bottom line is this is what I tell people. Either way, you got to know what you're doing in this business. You got to know what you're doing in this business.
Let's talk about that, because I think something right now that you've been kind of some buzz about. I know that you worked on a podcast recently with Joe and alluded to some things that are going on, that you made some tweaks in your business, some slight tweaks from just going from wholesaling to more of a full service type of program, or full service wholesaling, where you have a realtor involved and whatnot. We call it our Profit Master investing strategy. What's working really well for you right now, Peter, and explain how it's working, if you wouldn't mind, because I know you're pretty excited about it.
Well, I'm stoked about what we've done here to our local business, and now we're in 10 different states doing the same thing.
Wow.
This thing is just we're killing with it. And so here's what we've done. I think we've literally turning the whole real estate business upside down. And so what we're doing is, we're starting out with traditional marketing, like all of us investors do, right? You got to market, you got to generate leads, you got to
traditional postcard, letter,
everything everybody does,
internet. Okay.
Yeah, everything. Nothing changes there. But then we literally turned everything upside down, because if you think about it, when you're marketing, what you're doing is you're generating leads. What you're doing is you're generating seller leads.
Right.
Every seller in the United States is used to talking to two types of people. One, you can talk to a real estate agent that can help them sell their property.
Right.
2, they can talk to an investor. That's it. And so every seller has been taught to talk to one of those two people. And the pitch they hear from those people is the exact same all the way across the world. If you're talking to an agent, the pitch is the same. I'm the biggest, I'm the baddest, I'm the greatest, my brokerage is this, you got to go with me.
Right.
If you're talking to an investor, it's kind of like, hey, I got to get your property at 50 cents and a dollar, and then let's high five out of the closing table.
Right.
So what we do is we totally turn it upside down. We take what we call a consultative approach. So we got in my office somewhere between 500 to 700 sellers a day calling just out of my Atlanta office looking to sell their properties.
Wow, that's a ton.
I have people.
How many postcards are going out to get that?
Or do a lot of marketing. There's no one that markets the way I market. It's not that we do anything unusual. I think we do it better than anyone else. I mean, we have days on Mondays we'll have over 1,000 a day calling us.
That's crazy.
So, but then what we do is we take a consultative approach. So I got people, very highly trained, educated people on standby here from 8 in the morning till about 9 at night. And when we talk to these sellers, we don't pitch them, give us the listing, give us your property. We take a consultative approach. We just let them know, Mr. Seller, there is a number of options available here. For instance, we can come in and right there on the spot, we could buy your property. We could do this all the way to Mr. Seller. We can come in and basically help you list your property. So what we want to do is we want to set one of our, licensed agents into your house, and they can make a determination up front. So the key to that first call is very
you're determining motive. You're building rapport.
We're building rapport. We're building trust. We're creating good atmosphere. We're getting these sellers excited because there's no seller in the world that's seen an agent that can go there and give them a cash offer. there's out there guys that give them, gimmicks. I'll buy it if I can't sell it. I've never bought a property before, though. None of that junk. This is a legitimate cash offer the moment we set it up. So we build rapport, trust, getting the sellers flat out excited. And then my people are basically setting appointments for my agents.
So let's walk it through one more time. So a call comes in.
Yep.
And you're taking a consultative approach.
Approach, giving them their options. Let them know there's
calling in saying, I have a house to sell. Your side, you're saying, great. Tell me a little bit about it. Okay, let's set an appointment.
Yep.
And I can either come out and I can look at it. If it doesn't make sense for one side, I can list the property for you. Or if it does make sense on one side, we can buy the property.
Yeah, in a sense, what we're doing. And then they're setting appointments for our real estate agents. That's the other unique thing about it.
Now you have a brokerage there in Atlanta?
That's right. We're a combination. This is the uniqueness. We've literally combined a traditional real estate brokerage with a traditional real estate investment company.
So your side, Peter, you're kind of like, I looked into starting a brokerage at one point. I didn't like the compliance and everything else. So I went into the other route. I found an agent that was working with someone that had a license, but it wasn't being used. So we started to do our transactions on that one side. Your wife, I believe, is an agent, or she owns the brokerage. Is that accurate?
Yeah. We just basically have an in-house license here through my wife. But we have a whole,
But you're not licensed, Peter.
I'm not licensed.
So
I'm an investor.
You're on the investment side.
That's right. I run the investment side. We've merged with the traditional real estate team. We've actually built that team from scratch. My team lead, she's a $32 million agent herself.
Wow.
So one of the top agents.
Congratulations to her.
We built the whole team around her.
Okay.
And so now our agents, are basically broken up into quadrants throughout the city.
So are agents taking the calls, Peter, or something else?
No. We have special people, non-licensed people taking the calls.
Okay.
Screening, qualifying, asking them a series of about 12 to 15 questions.
Do they have to answer those questions accurately to go out there, or are you wasting time with people?
That's right. They're answering those questions, how much they want to sell for, why they want to sell. And then our agents go in 2 to 5 a day, 2 to 5 appointments per day per agent.
Wow.
And they go in, and again, they continue this consultative approach. In the first 5 to 10 minutes or 15 minutes, they're putting together that cash offer for that seller.
Okay.
So what does that really do? You almost have to experience it. It's putting a seller through something they've never seen before. Because when an average agent walks in there, what do they want? An exclusive. They want a listing, sign this, sign that.
Right.
Our agents, for the first 10 minutes, they're putting it together a cash offer. So what that seller is seeing something they've never seen before. An agent literally go to work for them. The agents could be calling back our office asking for cash prices. So now that seller is, wow, they got buyers in the back end.
So you do the old, I used to do this with Kirby's a long time ago. So I would go in, and then we come down to the place where we were going to make an offer on, like somebody wanted to trade in their other vacuum cleaner, okay? So we'd have to call the office and say, how much money could we get for the Electrolux? You're using the office as a positioning tool for the buying team. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
It gives the sellers gets excited, more rapport, more trust. So if in the first 15 minutes, a cash offer can be accepted, is accepted, they just do a simple purchase and sales agreement. They bring it back. We pay them a commission right in the spot. Gives our agents to make money literally week one, which is unheard of in any real estate brokerage.
So let's talk about that. Week one, because normally agents wait till the deal closes to get paid their commission, right? So what are you doing differently that's motivating the agents and it's working on how you're able to pay them in a week?
As soon as they bring the contract back, we pay them a third of their commission right there in the spot.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that, we got an agent here, Jennifer, started 2 weeks ago. She's already made $3,000 with me by getting 3 cash offers accepted. So there's no team, no brokerage in the United States that could put a new agent in a position where in the first couple of weeks, they can make legitimate money.
I think that model right there is really a unique piece of what you're doing, because
that's huge.
You have the no agent model out there, and people you and I know that do the no agent model, no fee, no commission fee for the for the agents, right? So they can sell $1 million house and pay a $500 fee or whatever it is. But what you're doing is you're paying the agents a week. In the first week. So I'm guessing that they all get paid on a Friday or a Thursday, since you're
we get paid. Yeah, right.
They stroke checks on whatever they've done for that week. Okay, so I'm going to ask the other question. In order to do that, obviously you got to be able to get these deals closed. is this some type of revocable draw? Is this type of thing?
So absolutely not.
So you never take the money back out of the agent's pocket, even if the deal doesn't close.
No, absolutely not.
Very interesting.
And when it does close, we pay him 3 times more the commission.
Okay.
So the value here.
Let's talk about that. 3 times more the commission, Peter. What do you mean by that exactly?
They get paid 1/3 of the commission up front and 2/3 when it closes.
So let's look at $100,000 deal, which I know maybe may or may not be under the.
You basically get $250 for reading the contract and $1,000 at closing. Simple as that.
Oh, I see. So you have a flat fee.
Yeah, we just pay them a flat fee.
When you say commission, it's a flat fee. Okay, and I understand this now because it's not a traditional commission because they're not working. They're not working for the seller. They're actually they're representing you as the buyer, right? So you're giving them, you're spoon feeding them the leads. So that in itself, they don't have to spend any money for marketing. And this is optional, by the way, too, right? This is an optional thing. If they want to go do this, they need gas money. And I would think that a lot of agents would want to do that because they do need that little extra cash. You're saying that one of your top agents is making how much a week right now?
Well, I mean, our top agents are, $30+ million agents. I mean, but we have agents that key with what we just talked about, the cash offer gives the ability to make money immediately.
Yeah, they're getting checks on Friday.
They're getting checks on Friday on the cash offers.
So it's $1,000 straight up flat commission, $250 when they bring back the deal. So if they get 4 that week, they'll get $1,000 on Friday, and then they've still got $750 more times 4 coming. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It works.
So it makes sense for the value added is right at the agent level.
Okay.
Plus the key value added is in the field level, giving sellers options they don't see before. Because if in that initial 10 minutes they can't come to an agreement on a potential deal, cash price, then they just flip that into regular listing presentation.
So how does that transition go? Because obviously you're playing 2 different hats there, right? They're saying, listen, I'm going to call the office and say, here's the house, here's the repairs, here's where it is. That conversation needs to be somewhere along the lines of, what are we able to do? And your guy comes back and says, we can do 65, 67, something like that. Obviously, your guy hasn't seen it, but your people are out there at the property. Have they gotten some type of, because most of the time agents aren't necessarily real estate investors, right? Because that's either one side or the other kind of psychology typically. You can have both, but it's harder to do that. So how did you get that training to happen for the investor?
We train them through. Well, we train them through, but the bottom line is we don't overthink it.
Okay.
Comp it out, go to a percentage of that. That's why we have due diligence period. That's why we have inspections period.
Gotcha.
And, that's why they take pictures. Then we send our own inspectors in and all that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that transition goes very smoothly. But the key to this whole thing, then, again, if it doesn't get accepted, then they just roll it into a regular listing presentation. I mean, we've had agents here, Corey, start with us on the 1st of the month, and by the 30th, they'd have 15 listings. So what happened when I switched to this model, this is what happened, literally. My investment business tripled. I mean, I was already the biggest investor in the Southeast, probably one of the biggest in the nation. So I tripled my investment numbers, and my retail brokerage went off the chain. I mean, in the last couple months, we picked up over 240 listings. I mean, there's no brokerage that could do that in a couple months. We did it right here out of our office, half-assing this whole thing. So the model is just exploding with this whole combination of the two.
That is fantastic. And whenever they're signing with you I know you're looking at some of those numbers, but let's just say out of 10 deals that they go out there, are they making offers on all 10?
All 10. That's right. Because the sellers are expecting to get a cash offer. We tell them that right up front.
Sure. So they make an offer. So what's powerful about this that maybe some people aren't maybe cluing in on this, but some people are, is that you're in front of the seller, right? And you're giving them a offer where they can actually have it in their hands, even if they don't want your offer. Whenever you leave the house and that offer is still in their hand, there's a massive chance that person is going to have some type of antsy thing going on that says, maybe I'll just accept this cash offer because I can get all my money now, which is what the number one word, we had somebody else that came on to the show, and they did this research on the number one word that caused motivated sellers to contact you. And you know what it was?
Now.
Fast. They took the word off. They did put other things in there. The one word that caused a massive, I think it was a 25% increase in conversions was the word fast. So people, they didn't even care about how you buy it, which is what us as investors often think. They just want it fast. They want it now. And it speaks to our thank you economy, right? What Gary Vaynerchuk says is we're in an economy right now where everything's expected and it's instant, right? I have X amount of friends on Facebook. It's instant. I go out to eat someplace. I can get something I want. It's instant. There's a lot of things now that are just becoming instant. So really, this being able to do it like this, you get best of both worlds. You get a cash offer now, but if they don't want that, right, then you'll get them to list it. Now, what happens if you're close on the edge, right, and they just aren't quite there? Do they roll it to that listing and they sign that listing agreement? In other words, out of 10 deals that you go out there, everybody gets a cash offer. Understand that. But how many come back with listing agreements?
We usually probably 1 out of 10 accept the cash offer. Okay. Well, first, let me take a step back. What you said it before, this is absolutely genius. I don't know if you even realize it. But the reason my business tripled is because of exactly what you just said. Because we're able to see these people face to face.
Yes.
For years, I just blew up our phone 700 times a day. I knew somebody would call us that say, here's our property for nothing.
Right.
But when we're sending, you and I both know you're a lot more effective face to face than you are over the phone.
Right.
And that was always my challenge. I knew I was always running in a very, very high level investment business, but very inefficient business because we were negotiating over the phone. But just like you said, when you're sitting there and you can build a rapport and they see that you're for real and they see it's not some kind of a scam over the phone,
right?
And you could dwell into their financial situation, their life situation.
Right.
Trust gets established. You're right. You could leave something behind.
Right.
You could use the kind of verbiage that you can't necessarily use over the phone. So you're right. That is why the triple business, because we're able to get inside people's houses at a high level.
Some people make a decision whether to work with you, whether or not they touch you. You know that from psychology? There's just the fact that if they touch your hand a certain way, or they see the way you smile, or they see in your eyes, it adds a whole new dimension in psychology and in people conversion. All right, which is what it's a term for people conversion. Whenever you see somebody, see in their eye. I mean, it's a whole different dynamic. Right, whenever you're in front of someone, which is
no question,
which is
no question,
great byproduct of what you're doing.
To answer your question, so usually 1 out of 10 accepts cash offer, and we want our agents to convert a minimum of 25%. Our top agents can convert at the 60-70 percentile range, which is huge. We want our baseline people on our team to convert at least 25% into something.
Okay, so 25% into something. So
whether it's a retail listing or investment deal, that's right.
So what that tells me is you want out of every basically 2.5 or 3 out of 10, you want to have something happen.
We want to have something happen. That's correct.
You count that because everybody's making a cash offer, but what you're saying is getting that cash accepted or getting a listing accepted.
Usually 1 out of 10.
Accepting.
1 out of 10.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
That's pretty powerful. Okay, that really is pretty powerful.
It's huge. It's mind-boggling what this has done. This type of a model. I mean, we're just exploding with this whole thing right now.
So now you have several offices that are satellite offices. Are you working with brokerages that you're wanting to kind of adopt a quasi franchise model?
In essence, that's what I'm doing. We're now in 10 different states. We're partnering up. People approaching us. We haven't really solicited any business. Mm-hmm. And these are very savvy, very successful real estate people. Either they already have a brokerage, they want to add an investment component, or they're savvy investors that want to add a realtor component, or it's somebody that has 2. I had 2 for years. I just never knew how to bring them together. And then, we have a couple partners that had them already. They just ran, side by side.
Right.
And we're showing these people how to bring these things together. And so, that's how we're, I'm partnering people with people across the United States utilizing this model.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I can see where that would work really great. And I can see where you get a lot more conversions that way. I can see where you get a lot more contracts that way. I would also, now since you're making everybody a cash offer, that's not just verbal, right? That means while they're at the house, they're actually writing out. They have contracts that they leave with the person.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's really, really powerful. So, and by the way, if you're not doing that, if you're not giving everybody that you're in front of a cash offer, or even, believe it or not, there's a service called lob.com where you can even talk to somebody on the phone and send them in the mail a contract offer. So just the fact that it's in front of them, which is what our point is, you'll get a higher conversion. You'll get another person that will convert maybe 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. It might be a year down the road, and they'll call you because you've got a contract in front of their face.
No question. Huge. Absolutely
really huge. What's one piece of advice that you would share about running a successful real estate business, Peter?
Man, you got to have the right people. You got to have the right people. Like I said, I could pick up this monitor, walk behind me, and you'll see office upon office full of people. And man, I spend an overwhelming amount of time looking for the right people. More time looking for right people than probably anything else I do. I think that's absolutely critical component.
It's huge.
Yeah.
If you had to start all over, how would you do it differently?
I choose my partners well. I don't no longer really take on true partners anymore. I probably got too involved.
Why is
that? I probably got involved with some wrong people when I got started with some wrong partners, weren't really equal partners, didn't have the right vision. If you're partnering with someone, even your key people, my CEO, we are dead on the line in our vision. But you know what? You can't get rid of a partner. Okay. And so if you're in a partnership, it's like being in a marriage. It's a marriage. And so that's probably one thing. I got too heavily involved with some key partners in the beginning that probably not wasted some time, but probably took me in directions I probably didn't need to be there, that I had to divert back out of.
It's good advice. What's a motivational quote that you really stand by? That's something maybe you see it in your office every day, or something you really like?
I don't know. I like it's actually from the $1 million listing, the guy that says "grow always and always." I love that. That's our motto right now. We're going to conquer the world with this whole thing. So grow always and always.
I like it, man. Okay. So what about a book? You read a lot of books, Peter. Which one that's really could you recommend? One that's really changed your life?
I'll tell you again, going back to what I was just saying in terms of the importance of people, the importance of lifestyle, the importance of systems, that, the E-Myth series. That whole concept, I really never knew about it until I got involved with that. And it's just, I live and die with that whole thing. We all get in it for money. We all get in for a lifestyle. And unfortunately, most people leave the lifestyle behind and never focus on that. But, that working on the business, not in the business. And that's what gives you ultimately the lifestyle and the ability to do the things we really want to do.
We're doing our 11 or 10 meetings with the book Traction. Gino Wickman, I know you know a lot about. It's been a very good supplement to the E-Myth. Because the E-Myth, for a lot of people that haven't read it, it's like you see that little infographic where, marketing needs to be done, closing needs to be done, transaction coordination, going selling, all these. And so all these kind of, if you have like a bullseye and all these little rings around, you're one of the rings. You're doing all of it. And then in the middle, it's you, and everything's focused around you. But the E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, he talks about how there's all these different responsibilities that you might be feeling right now, but eventually you want to have somebody else feel that responsibility. And it talks about how you can work on your business, not in your business. And often as I know many people have heard that before, but really understanding the idea of how to work on your business without being in your business is, it's a pretty big revelation if you haven't ever read that book before. Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
Do you have a mobile app that you use every day?
The weather. I don't have any apps. I'm serious, dude. Look here.
I knew you were going to say that. I
do not. And you know what? I'm pretty, I like technology, not like you. I'm not a geek when it comes to that. But the only app oh, no, wait a second. Every once in a while, I'll use my clock app. I'll use my clock app every once in a while. But other than that, it's just the
I'm just
weather
gonna
app.
move on. Just the clock app, the weather
The clock
app.
app. I do use the clock app sometimes and the weather app.
Fantastic. I'm sure that's very productive for you, Peter.
Yeah. But my weather app for the last 3 weeks, it says I cannot connect, and I don't know what the heck to do. Every time I hit on it, it says can't connect. So it doesn't even, my apps don't work. My apps are not working.
You have to go in and change your locations, location based. They changed all that in there so they can track your phone.
See, I got you.
It's in your settings. All right. So what's your morning routine, Peter?
Morning routine, usually up around 4:30, something like that.
Wow.
Usually work for about 40 minutes. Have a little snack while I'm working. Then about an hour and 10 minutes at the gym. Back home, work for another couple hours. And then by that time, the kids, the wife are getting up. They're off to school, and I'm off to my office over here. Pretty much very routine.
4:30 in the morning. You're pretty strict on that?
Yeah. I don't use an alarm clock, even though I have one. I use my clock app, but no, I'm the most effective. My most effective time for me is in the mornings. No question about it.
No noise.
No noise. Your head's clear.
Yeah.
I'm not the guy that stays up and works till 2 in the morning. But I am the guy that gets up early and works. I love that.
That's great. I do too. I like getting up early. There's something about getting up early that allows you to own your own time. And it seems like throughout the day, other people own your time.
Yep. No question about it.
Yeah. So what's the great lesson that you have learned that helped you get to where you are today?
Listen to my dad more. Listen.
What did he say?
Two people in my life. My dad and my wife has an incredible intuition about business, even though my wife didn't even go to business school.
Oh, that's good.
And it seems like everything that I've done in my life business related, that's been big like this, she steered me in it. And everything I've done big business wise that became a failure, she steered me away from it. So my wife's got a great intuition when it comes to dad, and my dad is just the kind of guy you could talk to anything about anything. You could talk to him about politics, you could talk to him about business, you could talk to him about relationships, and so that's where I get a lot of my mentoring for him at this point, from those two people, and I wish I kind of was more in tune to that, earlier on in my life.
Gotcha. What are you most grateful for?
I'm grateful for what I got. I'm grateful for what I've got. I mean, we got 3 healthy kids. God has been blessed us when it comes to dad. What else can we ask for? Been married for almost 20 some years, and got a business that's running on all cylinders. We work hard. We play here. I think I'm truly happy and blessed from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I'm not searching to get happiness when this happens or that happens, or chasing this or chasing that. I mean, if $3 trillion fell in my lap today, I'd probably do the same routine tomorrow.
That's pretty good, man. That's great to have that clarity. Now, are you Russian? Is that your lineage, or are you Polish, or?
Yeah, long time ago came from Soviet Union.
Soviet Union. Wow. Okay. So, at what point? And this is kind of a strange question because you kind of alluded to it in the beginning, but what point would you recommend hiring a coach or mentor? And obviously, you really didn't do that in the beginning, but what do you think about it now?
Well, if I was an investor, if I was doing it all over again, I'd do it from day one. I mean, gotcha. I paid for a coach, I paid for 1,000 coaches with the kind of money I lost. So, what I always tell people is saying, this one way or another, you're going to pay a price in this business.
Good point.
You're going to pay a price. You're going to pay a price yourself, either through time, trial and error, tremendous financial heartaches, and you may not make it, or you're going to pay a price by trying to get on somebody else's shoulders.
Right.
Whether that's somebody that's willing to take you on themselves because they're your family friend or relative, and they want to do everything for you,
right.
Or you're going to have to bring somebody on board. But in this business, it's a money intensive business. It's a reputation intensive business. It's a business where it's just day to day. You got to know what to do. I don't think anyone in this business can ever hire a coach too early, and I don't think anyone in this business can ever hire a coach too late. There's always that next level. There's always that new thing. There's always a way to perfect even what we're doing here. I mean, I got one of the biggest, most influential real estate guys in the country that if I used his name, everybody would know him. He was here 2 weeks ago. And you know what? In that one day, he was here checking me out, and I'm here thinking, holy crap. And he's looking at our model saying, this is the most unbelievable thing since sliced bread. But in the minutes of that, I'm learning stuff from him. He's like, would you ever think about doing this and doing that and doing that? And I'd say I'm a pretty savvy guy already. You know what I mean? So yeah, you can't get one too soon. You can't get one too late.
Interesting. Okay. If you had to summarize it, why do you do what you do? What gets you out of bed in the morning at 4:30?
Well, it's just what I said. I truly love it. I'm not running away from nothing. I'm not trying to do this so I could do something else. I'm not spending my time now so that one day I could do what I really want to do. Right. I'm not in relationships I don't want to be in. I'm not around coworkers I'm trying to get away from. I mean, what gets me up is just doing what I do on a daily basis. I mean, we're doing something here that matters. We're not just investors doing what every other investor does. I mean, we feel like we got a mission here. We are making a statement to some big players and to some small players. It is freaking fun being part of something that's new, innovative, captivating, that people are excited about and all that. We're on a mission here. I mean, how else can you be more excited than that? You know what I mean? Making a difference, making an impact.
Something to say about being the first comer into anything in my entire life, on my career. I've done a lot of different things just like you, and where I've excelled and had the most amount of success is whenever I got in the beginning. And so I think that you're on to something, and I really hope that you find a way to capitalize on it in a way that makes the most sense. So with that said, there's people that have incredible ideas out there all day long. The difference is execution. And I know you are a practitioner, and I know you're an executor. And because of that, that's what's going to give you the edge. But how can someone serve you? What can we do to help you right now? What do you want to accomplish in the next 6 to 12 months? And how can someone get in touch with you, Peter?
Well, right now we are building this model, this investment in the retail world brought together. So we're looking for partners. And what we're looking for savvy people. This is not a guy that just got out of a seminar. This is not somebody that's putting everything in a credit card. All our partners are savvy, whether they're retail guys or investor guys or both. They're savvy, they're successful. They don't mind spending tens of thousands of dollars when it comes to marketing, growing their business. And so we're looking for some more key players across the United States.
So probably someone that's flipping at least, or doing some type, at least 50 transactions a year, somewhere like that.
Minimum, minimum.
Minimum 50 transactions a year, and they spending minimum $3,000 to $5,000 a month in marketing.
No, they're spending a lot more. They're spending a lot more. I mean, the people that are getting in with us, they're spending a lot of money. We're doing all the marketing for them. We're taking all the calls. We're qualifying. We're setting 5 to 10 of these appointments for their people in the field. We're training them how to develop the right retail teams. We're training them how to coach those teams. It's a big undertaking. I mean, it's a big undertaking. We're taking commission in the back end, 30% of their profit, plus they prepay upfront tens of thousands of dollars. So this is for the big players. This is for big players that are already doing big things, but they want to do. They're seeing there's more opportunity out there. They're seeing there's more ways to capture the market.
Okay, and so the benefit of working with you and your team is that you'll deliver the leads. Is that right?
We're going to do all the marketing for them.
You'll use your marketing machine.
Yep.
They will still fund the marketing.
Up front. They fund the marketing for the first 4 months. After that, we start funding it out of the 30% profit.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's right. They fund the marketing for the 4 months because it takes a couple months, until they start making those 30%, the ramp up time. That's exactly right. And so we're doing all the marketing. We're taking all the in-house calls. We're qualifying. We're teeing up, setting appointments, 5 to 10 appointments a day for these people.
Do they have a phone number that goes into one phone number?
Yeah, that comes in back to us. Then
one number. So out of all the 10 states, all the same phone number.
Well, no, and each market has its own its own phone number, because that's a different partner in every market.
Okay, but they might have their own local number, but does it go into one central location?
Yeah, it comes right back to us.
So that local number forwards to one central
That's right.
location.
It comes right back to us. That's exactly right. And in terms of you're saying, how do they get a hold of me right now? The best thing to do is just send me a text. My direct line, my cell phone is 404-915-9685. That's 404-915-9685. And just put the word trifecta in a text message. And just tell me a little bit about what they're doing right now, what their model looks like, and we'll touch base with them, go through qualifying process, even have them come out here to our Atlanta offices, check out what this whole thing's about.
That's great. And that's great that you give them your actual cell phone number. It shows a testament to you actually doing this business and ready to talk to real players. So, Peter, this is killer. Fantastic interview. Thank you for taking the time to be on here. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens with this.
Good. I appreciate you having me on, Corey. Thanks, bud.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Remember, be a servant and make sure you're on the next Profit Master podcast series. We're going to bring incredible guests just like Peter right to you to explain everything they're doing to knock it out of the park. Thanks, Peter.
Thanks, Corey.
Bye. Hi, this is Corey Boatwright, and I have a quick question for you. What is the fastest way to reach your goals? Is it to work harder, work smarter, use system and processes, or hire rock star employees? What about just making more money? Actually, it's none of that. Those things are a byproduct of the one success component that every real estate investor or business owner that I know all have in common. And the answer is clarity. Complete laser focus on what you want, why you want it, and what are you willing to do to get it. So where do you find clarity? By hiring a coach and mentor. Now, could you reach the level of success that you want to achieve by doing this all on your own? The Lone Ranger. Well, maybe, but do you think it would take you double or even triple the time to achieve it compared to hiring a coach and mentor to help guide your path, provide proven instruction with a tailored blueprint that you could follow for building a real estate business that supports your lifestyle and helps you reach your financial and personal goals? Absolutely. Here's the fact. Time isn't recyclable. So I would like to ask you to make good use of it and extend a personal invitation for you to book a phone coaching strategy session by going to callwithcorey.com. That's callwithcorey, Corey spelled CORY.com. I'm going to ask you a few quick questions on that page, and we're going to go over and see how we can make sure that your business is on path to reach the goals that you want this year. So go to callwithcorey.com, that's CORY, and book your phone coaching strategy session today. Remember, be a servant, and I'll see you on there.
You've been listening to another Real Estate Investing Profits Master podcast series. To receive your free real estate book, Down and Dirty, Ultimate Real Estate Investing Quick Start Guide, how to quit your job to start flipping houses in 90 days or less, head online and go to realestateinvestingprofits.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Real Estate Investing Profits. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for our next episode.